It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Morland and of course Greene King Brewery, which now own Morland. And this is a bottle of their Old Master Hen. It's a beer coming in at 7% ABV. I travelled down to Waitrose for this. A limited edition strong ale 2023 single batch bottle conditioned master brewer. We went out for a curry, me and the master brewer, great guy. 7% ABV. There it is on the in the box. It's a lovely looking box. It's a lovely presented box. Masterful brew, exquisite depth. It'll be a 500 milliliter bottle, I imagine. It cost me £5. I travelled specifically down to Waitrose for this. We don't have a Waitrose. I used to be able to walk to my local Waitrose. Ooh. There we go. And it goes on, look, I mean, look at this. It goes on. Yeah, me and that man there went out for a curry in Bury St Edmunds. A couple of years ago now. Blimey. They don't want you to open it. If in doubt, give it a rip and a tear. Blooming heck. Oh, I see. It's like a book. It's opening up like a book. Very much like the... Reminds me of the Northern Monk labels. Blooming heck, I'm making a right mess of this. There we go. Finally. Old Master Hen. Ross. That was his name, Ross. Gold bottle cap, clear bottle. What interests me about this beer in particular is that, and it was one of the reasons why I travelled all the way down to Waitrose to pick this beer up, is because for all of the wonderful craft beer that's out there at the moment, that's very much hop forward, everything's hoppy, everything's kind of grapefruity, and you know, there's a lot of kind of innovation going on with IPA and stouts, imperial stouts. This type of beer really excites me because I think, done correctly, if you can produce a beer by using lots of different malts, and it's got me salivating just thinking about it, then I think the beer can be just as good. A craft beer brewed and crafted with lots of different malts is probably, for me personally, just as good as any IPA, New England IPA out there. There's a lot you can do with malts, and sometimes the malts are overlooked. They're definitely overlooked when we're in this kind of craft beer craze of New England IPAs and imperial stouts and everything else. So beer in the glass, good levels of carbonation. Small bubbles. Dark, very dark looking beer this. Definitely darker than Old Speckled Hen, which is of course this beer is kind of based on. There was another beer called Old Crafty Hen as well, which is, I think it's still on the supermarket shelves, but it's probably a seasonal release, September, October, kind of winter time. This was produced for Father's Day 2023, but it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Lots of different malts, nice and dark, amber, deep dark, kind of mahogany coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, and there's a lot there. There's a lot there to get excited about. Malty, biscuity, bready, nice and hoppy. It's got this kind of mixed fruit aroma to it. It smells really lovely. Really, really lovely beer. A little bit peppery and spicy. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, oh. Oh, that is wonderful. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows, what a beer. You're hit with a complex flavour of malts, breadiness and biscuitiness. There's lots of licorice coming through. Toffee, freshly baked bread, freshly baked brown granary style kind of crusty expensive bread that you might buy once in a blue moon in a supermarket to make some really nice toast with. You know, if you've got your family coming round or something and you want to treat them to a nice cooked breakfast, you know, that's the type of loaf of bread you buy, you know, that kind of floury, nutty topped bread. But it's got all of that in it, this beer. Wonderful. It's nutty, it's biscuity, it's hoppy, it's fruity. Oh, yes, yes, yes. This is good beer. Good beer. As I mentioned earlier, if you use malts correctly, I mean Shepherd, Greene King, wrong one. With Greene King, Morland, they would definitely know. You know, they've been making these malty beers for hundreds and hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. They know what they're doing. I actually visited Greene King Brewery. If you want to see... You won't see me and Ross having a curry because that was kind of afterwards. We had a few beers. We ate about 1 million poppadoms. I still remember. And we had this amazing curry down in Bury St Edmunds. You won't see any of that, but you'll see a brewery tour with me and Ross, the head brewer of Greene King. Just put in Greene King Brewery Tour. You'll see it in YouTube. But the place is fantastic. Greene King, what a fantastic brewery. Incredible. Bury St Edmunds, like the whole town is not dominated. Dominated is the wrong word, but it's a brewer's town. It's a brewer's town. A lot of people who live in Bury St Edmunds work for Greene King. A lot of the houses is taken up by brewers and people who work at the brewery. It's a fascinating place. It really is. And it's a beautiful place as well. Bury St Edmunds is just, I mean, one of those great English towns that we all wish we could live in and afford to live in. Oh, delightful. That is delightful beer. That is like Spitfire on steroids. That really is. Now, I'll tell you a little secret. I've moved snooker club now, so I drink whatever I kind of have, whatever snooker club I play in. So I've moved snooker club. I play for a different team now. I play for the Wyndham in Barry. And they serve Doombar. So on a Wednesday, I drink about 3 or 4 pints of Doombar. But the snooker club I previously played for, over Barry Island, they used to get Old Speckled Hen in. And I still long for it. Every time I get poured a pint of Doombar in the Wyndham, I go a little bit like that. I wish it was Speckled Hen. I much prefer drinking, in my previous snooker club, I much prefer drinking Speckled Hen, playing snooker. It was kind of like my go-to beer. And in fact, it was, the whole channel is 13 years old as of 2023. We started in 2010. I think Old Speckled Hen was probably the third beer ever reviewed on the channel. And since then, we've gone on to review over 9,000 beers. So that's how highly I thought of Old Speckled Hen back in the day, is that it was in my kind of like the top three, my I'm gonna review that beer because I know I like it. Even back in 2010, 13 years ago. This is terrific beer. This is the type of beer that Is it worth my £5 in Waitrose? Was it worth the 15-mile drive? Yes, absolutely it was. Absolutely. This is just incredible beer. As much as I like to drink all of these wonderful New World craft beers, for me, and I'll go back to the very start of this beer review, if you craft and work with lots of different malts, then malt is equally as good as hops if used correctly. And this is a very fine example of how to produce a craft beer with malt. If you want to try a craft beer with malt, be quick because I think they're limited. Pop down to your local Waitrose and give this a try for £5. I did it. I'm glad I did it. It's full of toffee, biscuity, bready, nutty, hoppy, fruity, licorice flavours. It's just incredible. Oh. Greene King, please carry on making this beer. Please bring this out for Christmas. We have Fuller's at Christmas time. We have Camden Town at Christmas time in Waitrose. They produce very special boxes of beer for Christmas. Vintage Ale, Fuller's Vintage Ale comes out Christmas every year. I was going to say 2023. It comes out every year around November time. Same as Camden Town, they bring out a very special lager for Christmas, an imperial strength lager. Maybe they're kind of like dodging maybe they're dodging it. Maybe they don't want to compete with Fuller's, Greene King. Maybe they just want to maybe concentrate on the Father's Day experience. Maybe this will be out every year for Father's Day. So if you have missed it this year, maybe Greene King will bring it out next year for Father's Day. Put it in your diary, buy it. If you're a malt loving, I'm not going to say real ale. If you're a craft beer drinker that appreciates malt, then go out and try this beer. For £5, absolutely incredible. For me, this is brilliant beer. Well done to the whole team at Greene King for producing this. This is a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.